What's up, fishing fanatics? So, long time since a video, I know, I'm sorry, we've been a little busy, but I wanted to bring you guys an updated video of the Fishroom. There's the standard bristles that we had gotten from, let me zoom out here, sorry, from one of the swaps that we had gone to. The German blue rams are still doing really good. They've spawned, but they ate the eggs, so no good. Flower's doing just fine. She's getting big. She'll be getting a new tank pretty soon. We've added a couple of Bozemantes to this group. Still working on breeding them, but we need to make sure that we have a different tank set up for them as well, so when they're ready to go. And then this tank is almost ready to be gone. Working on that. But there's cribs in here still, and there's also some Odessa barbs, along with some, well, there goes one of the Odessas that's just scattered, along with some Corys. I'm trying to see if I can find any of the cribs, because they tend to be out more than the Odessas do. Not quite ready to be out today yet. That's fine. They normally swim around though. They're very active and out. And then of course the Golden Wonders. We're getting a setup going for these guys to start breeding them more regularly. We have a couple fry in this tank right now that have survived, but we're going to have a setup so that we can pull the spawning mops and actually raise the fry. So we're working on that. And then of course there's a batch of unfertilized angel eggs. However, there is one survivor right there at the top right corner of the screen. Just the one survivor. He's a wiggler right now. A couple more days he should be free swimming. The orchid endlers are almost gone. The Mickey Mouse platies will be getting moved around, and then the super reds, we put in a pot in here for them to try and get them to breed, and they're still not. I have a feeling even if they laid eggs, the snails might get them, so they will eventually be getting moved out into a different tank and working solely on them. The 72 hasn't changed much at all. It's still pretty much the same. We've added one of the shabunkins. One of our cats got a hold of the other shabunkin, pulled it out of the tank, left it for dead. Horrible thing to wake up to, come downstairs and see, but it happens. It's in their nature. And then we'll go down here to the Moscow tank, and there's quite a few fry in here now, so we're working on moving these guys to where the orchids are. And then the red split fin godiads are in here. We're still waiting on these guys to spawn. I've lowered the temperature on their tank to try to induce spawning because they like colder temperatures to start. Nothing as of yet, but it takes 2 months of gestation for them to physically raise the eggs because they are a live bearer. So, waiting on that. That could be a while yet. I'm going to drop the temperature a little bit lower, I think, and go from there. But it happens. It's all a waiting game. You never really know till you know. And then all of the goldfish that we've had are condensed into here, what hasn't been fed to Piggy. There's 5 of them left. They all look really good. No issues. This tank will eventually be nanos of some sort. Up here we have another tank of the red cherries. These are like the grade AA red cherries. And you can see there's already babies all over. They're just, I mean, they don't ever stop breeding. It's crazy. But there's already a clutch of babies flying around in there. But you can see the reds are, like, they're genuinely red, so we wanted to make sure we got a tank of them going. There's yellows in here. It's a smaller colony, it's a starter colony, so we're going to have a couple months before this really gets going. But you can see, there's one there. They like to hide out up on top. And I'm not really seeing too many right now. I just turned the lights on, so a lot of them are just coming to from being asleep. You can see there's one swimming right there. But I think there's like 8 or 9 of them in here. So a couple months and those will be going pretty well. And then of course the Blue Dream tank has been worked on a little bit. We're gonna work on it some more and try and actually get the coals out so that this tank turns pure blue again. And then this side, this tank will be home to some Wernerei, Lampologus Wernerei. We've had a ton of snow, huge amounts of snow, and then it was like super deep freeze cold, and from all of the runoff of the snow, our ammonia in our water, in our tap water spiked. We never had ammonia in our tap water before until this winter, and I changed the water out. I moved the Wernerei in. I also had added some stability to it, but the Wernerei didn't make it. So we're gonna get some more next week, actually, which will be nice. So waiting on that, but that's gonna be their new permanent home for now. So we're not gonna get a lot of them, but we are gonna get some to try and breed them out as well. And then in here, I have some of the select orchid endlers that I decided I'm going to keep. There's a couple of females in here, and then you can see the males. The finnage on them is absolutely gorgeous. So I was going to try to breed that out a little bit. I got 3 males in there that look like that. Super bright colors, nice finnage. So we'll see what happens. And then here we have the Corydora habrosus, or salt and pepper cory. There's like 6 of them in here. They don't all come out all the time, but you can see there's one up front and center right now. They're getting more comfortable. They're coming out more often, and they're getting a little bit bigger. We got these guys as juvies. So the plan is to grow these guys out and hopefully spawn them. These tanks are ready to go. We just have to get fish in there. You can see we have some pellets in there to keep an ammonia boost in there, so it cycles out a little bit better. But, whoa, sorry. As of right now, these are empty. They're going to be filled up pretty soon. Bear in mind that all of these tanks, these 20 longs, will be shrimp tanks at some point, but for right now, I believe that I'm going to use this one for some of my super red bristles to get those hopefully to breed. And like I said, this one will be for the Wernerei, so we're going to work on breeding them as well. We're working on breeding the cribs. We're trying, this year is the year we're going to try and do as much breeding as possible. We did okay last year. It wasn't very many species. I think it was like 5 or 6. And we're hoping to double that this year. So we'll see what happens. But my goal is, as soon as some of these species spawn, to get them, or breed and spawn, whatever, get them out and get another one in. There's a few fish that we're looking forward to trying to get breeding groups of, or just get the fish themselves and let them grow out to be breeders. So we'll see how that goes. But up here, like I said, that's the selected orchid endlers, the salt and pepper cories. This is going to be a, hopefully, a blue really tank. Sorry, bad angle there. We're gonna try to do all of this, and we've pulled out some selectively to get, hopefully get a really gene going, because they have that ability, it seems. So we'll see what happens. And then of course in here is the infamous cherry tank that started it all with the shrimp. Pardon the reflection, you can see all that stuff in the background, filters and whatnot. Jeez Louise, this is gonna be horrible. I'm sorry guys. But there's cherries all over in here. There's babies all over in here. I'm going a little fast because I have a major reflection. But these are some of the ones that we had for the longest time. Of course, over here we have the multis, and there is fry in there. You can see that the algae problem is still there, but it's going away slowly. I've been working at it, trying to get it completely eliminated, which has been a lot tougher than I thought it would be, because I don't get to spend as much time on this tank as I'd like, so I need to work on it some more. But you can see there's the shellies in there, and then there's some fry in here as well. They're juvies about now. They could go to new homes if they wanted to. And then this tank is pretty well empty at this point. We're going to break this down and more than likely cut it up for lids. because it's an older tank and I don't want to reseal it, we're going to end up getting a couple of new 55s and some more 40s. This rack is going to be completely redone, and we'll have a breeding station for Tetras put up over here. The Shelties will stay over here along with some 55s on the bottom that we can use for growl tanks. Right now there's some Corys in here somewhere. I'm not sure where they are. They like to hide, but they're in here somewhere. And then the breeding baskets that we have for right now. So that's pretty much it for the moment. We have one angel fish out of that batch because that pair is only, this is their third spawn. They were young when we got them. Didn't really expect too much, but tried it anyways just to see. And lo and behold, we got one survivor. He didn't fertilize all the rest of the eggs. They didn't fungus up or anything. They just turned white. I mean, they weren't fertilized. They weren't good, so it is what it is. Hopefully as they get older and they spawn more frequently, they'll get better at it. Still not seeing any cribs at the moment. They're in there though. That's alright. So yeah, that's what it is for the moment being. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, as always, drop them in the box below. If you haven't already, do us a huge favor, hit that like, subscribe, and share button. And as always, happy fish keeping.